Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about D&D Direct, and we're going to talk about the two biggest announcements in that D&D Direct, and that is Spelljammer, Dragonlance, boom, boom, right? So one, let's talk about some of the things on the side. So one, am I excited? I'm outrageously excited. I am so excited for this year. I know this sounds weird. I realize this is a pattern now. Whenever I hear about, actually, if I hear about an old D&D setting that's coming out, I'm hyped, right? I am just always hyped. Like, you can bring any of the old settings back, and I'm here for it, to D&D 5e. So if they announce a real D&D 5e, traditional setting being returned, I'm always hyped. But any book that they say, hey, here's this book you're gonna get, I'm always like, oh, that sounds like that is not a traditional setting. I'm like, that's a waste of time. Where's Dark Sun? Where's Dark Sun? Where's Dark Sun? Right? And I think until I get all the settings I want out of into 5e, I'm always going to be like, what is this trash book you're talking to me about, right? And that's where I was at with Journey to the Radiant Citadel. But here's the thing. I am in love with the Wild Beyond the Witchlight book. It's one of my favorite books on my shelves. I absolutely adore that book. I've used it. I've pulled sections out and run them in my stuff. I love Wild Beyond the Witchlight, and I detested it when they announced it. I was like, this is the most trash book you could possibly write. A Fae setting book where nobody fights. But once I got it, I'm like, this is dope, and I absolutely love it. Warduke's in there. Come on, it's done. Right? I pay $50 for that alone, for that page alone, right? So I am just outrageously excited to see Spelljammer coming to 5e, to see Dragonlance coming to 5e. And a lot of people are like, well, you can just read the old, and the reality is you can't, right? The books are trash. The Spelljammer books are trash. The Dragonlance books are trash because they're all black and white. They have horrible art inside of them. They have great covers, legit, right? And there's just 100 lessons that have been learned over decades that just when you go back and you read those books, plus there's just all kinds of cultural problems. You can't go back. You really can't. You need to bring history to now. That's when it matters, right? So I am outrageously excited about Spelljammer and Dragonlance. Just super, super excited about it. But actually, I was really even excited about the Journey into the Radiant Citadel. Not nearly as much as Spelljammer, but the more I learn about that book, the more excited I am for it. And I think it might have some uses that aren't expected. But I am wonderfully, wonderfully excited about Spelljammer and wonderfully, wonderfully excited about Dragonlance. And I am so excited for D&D 2022, right? It's going to be Radiant. It's going to be, Radiant Citadel. I'm hyped for that book. I can interact with it in the way that it's going to be interacted, but I have some ideas to use it in different ways as well. So I'm excited for that book. And the other thing is, I got to admit at this point, I'm no longer an objective. I just have to admit this. I'm no longer an objective viewer of the D&D books. Every book that comes, it's like D&D new D&D book day. That's what Nerd Immersion calls it. And I it's a countdown in my head to the day, and I just grab it for $50 full retail at my FLGS. I have a UFLGS. I have an unfriendly game shop, which that's a whole different discussion. I'm still pleased to buy from them, right? And so I just, I'm just so excited for every new book, and it really doesn't matter what book they're, D&D is such a powerful source of joy in my life at this point that every book that comes is just another drumbeat in the history of Dungeons and Dragons, and I am legit just so excited for Spelljammer, so excited for Dragonlance. And actually, I'm pretty excited for Radiant Citadel. I know that's surprising. I'll have to do some videos on why I think that might be a different book than you're thinking it is, or things that you can do that you would never expect with that book. But I am so excited for D&D 2022. I think it's just going to be a spectacular year. I am playing in the streets of New Capenna, right? Magic the Gathering this weekend. all those cards are going right into my D&D games. Every single MTG pre-release is now new D&D content because the MTG world is so intimately bound with the D&D world now. And then also, I just wanted to talk real quick about Spelljammer. I am so hyped for this book, right? But it's not one book. It's 3 books in a slipcase. Woo! Boy, am I excited, right? So I cannot wait to see this. It is brilliant, right? It is a world guide, a monster manual, and an adventure. 3, and I'm like, you can chuck the old 264 page books in a lake. I don't ever want to see anything but 3 books in a slipcase going forward. I love it. I'm just so excited for Spelljammer. I'm so excited for this. D&D Direct was an absolute catastrophic success, right? Like, it was just so good, cataclysmic, right? It's just so cacophonous. I'm so thrilled with everything that came out of D&D Direct. It's hard for me to imagine I'm more excited for D&D than I was 3 days ago, but I am legit even more excited for D&D than I was 3 days ago. And the biggest thing that excites me is, pulling Spelljammer forward, pulling Dragonlance forward. These are all super important, points right back to Gary's legacy and making Gary's legacy bigger, better, bolder, and forever. And D&D Direct it just makes Gygax's shine out of the grave more powerful. I'm very, very, very excited for D&D 2022. I could not be more thankful for everything they announced at D&D Direct, and I am just radiating with joy at this point. I'm just so excited for everything that's coming this year, and I could not be happier for Wizards of the Coast finding their voice, finding a way to communicate clearly, finding a way to communicate effectively. That's my opinion. What do you think? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.